What subject is this? Doing a past paper, AQA, I have not seen this question before and I do not understand the question, but I would like to come back later to do it. So this question is an algebra question and we're trying to find the ratio of x to y. And I think the tricky part is this. We only have one equation, but we have two unknowns, x and y. So are we able to find x specifically and y specifically and then find the ratio of that? No, we are not going to do that. So I think this is the tricky part right here. When we want to find the ratio, and we use this notation for now, right? X with the semicolon, yes, the dots, two dots, y. The key right here is that this is the same as x over y. If you want to find the ratio, you can look for the fraction of x to y like this. It's easier. So we actually just have one quantity to consider, and let me show you how we can do so. Here's the deal. On the left-hand side, we have 2x squared plus y squared. I'm going to leave a space, and then the bottom, and then 43 over 11. This question is achievable fairly nicely because the powers of x and y, they are all 2. It's very nice. Remember, we're trying to produce this quantity, right? X over y. Here we have x squared. So wouldn't it be nice if I divide this by y squared? Because this way we can look at this right here as a quantity, x over y, and then squared. And when I divide this by y squared, I will have to divide the whole thing on the top by y squared. So I have to do it here, and then do the same thing on the bottom. But I will split it, divide this by y squared, and likewise for that. And we can actually just do that on the left-hand side because I can just look at a fraction and do the same thing on the top and on the bottom. You don't have to do the same thing on the right-hand side because if you do, divided by y squared and y squared, they cancel anyways. And a small detail is that x and y are positive, so when we divide it by y squared, we are not dividing by 0, so don't worry about that. Now, right here, we can write this as 2. This becomes x over y squared. Y squared over y squared is just 1. Same thing here for x over y squared, and that is minus 1. Okay, how do we solve for x over y? We will treat this as a variable, and I think it might be easier if we just call that to be a new variable. And because we're talking about a ratio, I'm going to set this right here to be some number r. So I can look at this as 2r squared plus 1 over 4r squared minus 1. How do we solve this? Two fractions equal to each other, just cross multiply. So 11 times that has to be 43 times that. Then I will distribute 11. We have 22r squared plus 11. And then multiplying the 43, we get 172r squared minus 43. Then I will subtract 22r squared to both sides. And then add 43 to both sides. So this and that cancel, this and that cancel, and we will have 54 equals, that's 150 r squared. And then I will be dividing 150 to both sides. So r squared equals 54 over 150. Can we reduce this? Yes, by 6. So r squared equals, the top will give us 9, and 150 divided by 6 is 25. Okay, and then take the square roots to both sides, put a plus or minus technically, and we can see that r gives us plus or minus. Square root of 9 is 3, and square root of 25 is 5. Now, here's the detail right here. x and y are both positive, r is equal to x over y. And when we have a positive divided by positive, we cannot get negative. So we have to get rid of this. But it's just a good habit. Whenever you square root both sides, make sure you put a plus or minus. So r is equal to 3 over 5. And then we can come back here. We know r is equal to 3 over 5. And you see x over y is equal to 3 over 5. So that tells us the ratio of x to y is equal to 3 to 5. And I can just present this for the answer. That's it.